and welcome to the program. I am Bukola Koka, and this edition covers Nigeria's northeast. But first, we'll start with the top stories.
There's nowhere that you can pass. Nowhere you can pass. I'm with Everybody came up from there.
This is the aftermath of a devastating tanker explosion which occurred last night along the Eleme axis of the East-West Road in Rivers State. An unconfirmed number of persons are feared dead, with some bodies found burnt beyond recognition and over 50 vehicles destroyed. Reports suggest that the tragedy was triggered when the tanker navigating the dilapidated road was hit by another heavy-duty vehicle, igniting an explosion. The ensuing inferno engulfed several other vehicles along the road, with occupants said to be trapped and unable to escape the rapidly spreading flames. The Eleme axis of the East-West Road has been notorious for its hazardous condition, prompting repeated protests from concerned citizens who've been demanding urgent repairs. In the meantime, the state governor, Simlai Fubara, has visited the scene of the incident. Governor Fubara, after inspecting the devastating site, directed security agencies to conduct a thorough assessment of the accident in order to facilitate the provision of aid to victims' families. He also lamented the deteriorating condition of the LMS section of the East-West Road.
I got the information through the MD of Indorama and immediately alerted the security agencies to make sure that they step in. And from what we are seeing this morning, it wasn't a very, very pleasant case. We recorded, from what I'm seeing, a huge numbers of vehicles being destroyed and souls lost. But I've already asked the agency, the security agency, to give us a full brief so that we can come into the situation fully by seeing how much we can support the families that are bereaved and how we can cushion the effect of the losses, which I believe is no fault of a good number of them. We all know the situation on this road. It's really, really unfortunate. Most of our people, when plying this road, should apply it with caution. I believe strongly that this situation would have been avoidable if the motorists had behaved properly.
Resident doctors at the Delta State University Teaching Hospital have commenced a one-week warning strike as a result of what they describe as government's insensitivity to significant issues affecting the provision of optimal patient care and training of resident doctors in the state. President of the Association of Resident Doctors, University of Delta State Teaching Hospital, Dr. Harrison Uja, while briefing the press in Asaba, says the current situation is increasing mortality rate and needs urgent attention. Other issues raised include poor salary structure, which has fueled the number of doctors seeking greener pastures abroad. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it has received over $760,000 paid to the American International School Abuja, allegedly by the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Mr. Yahaya Bello, as school fees for his children. The anti-corruption agency told Channels Television today that the commission had received the amount after demanding a refund of the money by the school. Over $845,000 was alleged to have been paid in advance as fees for Mr. Bello's children from the coffers of the Kogi State government. However, $760,910 was refunded after the school deducted the sum it says was for educational services already rendered. The FCC chairman, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, had revealed the payment to the school while briefing the press on the activities of the agency since he assumed office 6 months ago. This came after the agency declared the former governor wanted following his evasion of arrests and refusal to appear before the Federal High Court of Abuja to face trial over money laundering charges. The Yobe State Contributory Healthcare Management Scheme had in the last 5 years enrolled over 190,000 civil servants into its formal contributory healthcare scheme, covering 95% of its targeted population. The executive secretary of the agency, Dr. Babagana Tijani, disclosed this at a feedback meeting in Damaturu with beneficiaries across the 17 local government areas of the state.
It's a gathering of Yobe State government healthcare officials and civil servants who are the major beneficiaries of the state contributory healthcare scheme. With over 190 beneficiaries so far enrolled into the scheme, this engagement is to receive feedback and complaints from beneficiaries and how best to improve services.
It is compulsory, it's mandatory, as long as a civil servant in the state, be it a local government civil servant or a state government civil servant, it's mandatory for you to join the scheme. But for us to make it attractive, to make it palatable for the informal sector program, to key into doing is for us to expand our coverage, is to expand our services, is to ensure that this out of stock syndrome and non-availability of manpower across the healthcare facilities is reduced to the minimum, to barest minimum.
And sometimes, the beneficiaries will use to complain that when they go to health facilities, they are going to be treated somehow, which we want them to understand the role health facilities are playing, the role of the YOCHMA as an agency, and then, of course, the role of the beneficiary itself.
The National Healthcare Insurance Scheme is creating partnerships with all state governments by allocating 1% of the consolidated revenue to provide free healthcare services to vulnerable persons and children under 5 years.
This consolidated revenue is expected to cater for the health services of vulnerable children under 5, the ages, and the rest of the vulnerables, which Yobe State is participating actively towards the attainment of the universal healthcare coverage.
About 70% of the beneficiaries are reportedly satisfied with the services.
Individual differences. Definitely sure. Some are appreciating while others are complaining about the mode and the way how the YOCHMA operating their services to humanity in the state. Major complaint that we are receiving from the civil servants at times, the way and the manner they used to encounter during the receiving services from hospitals. Some may be attended, but when they went there to the hospital personnel at times give them headache to respond to their demand. That is the kind of complaint that we are receiving.
All beneficiaries of the scheme who are state and local government employees are to pay only 10% of the total cost of their medication and 5 other members of their families.
The Pharmacy Council of Nigeria has sealed 751 premises comprising 71 pharmacies, 128 out-patent medicine stores, and 584 illegal medicine shops in Gombe State for offences bordering on sale of drugs in the open market, non-registration with the PCN, poor documentation, stocking of ethical products without the supervision of relevant officials, among others. The PCN says this crackdown on the defaulting premises is in the interest of public health. The sealing exercise was done late in the evening amid tight security in order to minimize traffic congestion in Gombe main market and in other locations.
Selling drugs in the open market poses grave public health risks, as the drugs tend to lose their therapeutic properties before reaching the end user due to the high storage temperatures and clustered spaces. Such illegal outfits serve as smokescreens for selling illicit drugs that fuel social vices. 751 premises have been sealed off out of the 1,001 premises in 5 out of the 11 local governments visited by the PCN enforcement team in a massive crackdown on premises operating in unregisterable locations or violating safety standards.
All the shops here are not registered. They're operating illegally. Number 2, they have a large stock of controlled substances. And there's no documentation, no pharmacies to supervise the dispensing of those drugs because, as I said, it's an illegal premises. So there's no way pharmacists will come and work here. So there are large stock of medicines here that should not be handled by persons who are not pharmacists.
The enforcement team says drugs are not to be sold in open market squares and clustered spaces, as the practice affects the physiochemical and healing properties of the drugs, exposing the user to the risk of getting cancers and other life-threatening diseases. While lamenting that some of the affected premises do not have qualified pharmacists to supervise their operations, the Director of Enforcement, Stephen Isumobi, says such premises will be sealed off not only in Gombe State, but throughout the country, one bad store at a time.
We have our people on ground, but after sealing this shop, our surveillance team will still be here. Our guideline is clear about the relocation of medicine dealers in open drug market. They are going to move, not just in Gombe. We're also going to shut down the open drug market in Onitsha. We're going to shut down the open drug market in Ariaria. We're also going to shut down the open drug market in the Dumota, in line with federal government directives.
PCN says it is not out to run people out of business, but to ensure compliance to safety regulations for a disease-free Nigeria through the sales and distribution of medicines of highest quality, operating in prescribed locations far removed from the hustles and bustles of market spaces and high temperatures.
And staying in Gombe State, the government's business drive may soon witness another significant boost as billionaire businessman and chairman of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has indicated interest in setting up an industry or two in the state. He made the comment during a private visit to Governor Inuwa Yahaya. After the closed-door meeting, he addressed the media on his desire to take advantage of the human, natural resources that abound in Gombe, with particular reference to the 18 billion naira industrial park funded by the Inuwa Yahaya administration. The business mogul also lauds Yahaya's transformative policies and business intelligence that saw Gombe State win the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Award on the ease of doing business 2 times in a row in 2021 and 2022.
What are the industries that are best suited here for us to establish and support His Excellency's efforts in terms of job creation and also to bring prosperity to the state. But I think he has done his best, as a government, in terms of laying down the policies of investment, because really government doesn't have any business investing in business, but they should support, which he has done his own. So I think we'll look at the possibilities of investing in Gombe State. I think I've had this discussion even just a few minutes ago with His Excellency, and we're looking at the possibilities of us looking into that cement, because the state should be one of the major producers of cement, because there is no cement factory in the entire Northeast. And this is a very, lucrative area in terms of cement production, because your neighboring countries like, states like Borno, where you can easily go to Cameroon, you can go to Chad, up to Central Africa. So if you produce even 20 times of what you are producing today here, it will be consumed.
Welcome back. About 1,600 persons from communities ravaged by insurgency in Adamawa State have been successfully engaged in driving community development initiatives aimed at improving social cohesion and fostering inclusiveness. This has resulted in the implementation of about 120 projects and programs funded by the Federal Republic of Germany in collaboration with the Adamawa State government, Oxfam, and other development partners.
The undulating topography of most areas in Michika local government and the eroded roads provide a rough challenge in terms of transportation. Such challenges are what the communities affected by insurgency have been trained to tackle through inclusive development initiatives. The communities are encouraged to take up responsibility of fixing their own roads, supported by development partners and the state government. Some communities fill up deeply eroded roads, which made transportation of goods and services difficult, while areas like Futu Ward now have access to water supply.
We have gained a lot from this program, because if you go around now, you see a lot of things I've done. From road maintenance and our boreholes, where the source of water, they have repaired a lot of them, and honestly, we have gained a lot from this program.
During the rains, it is difficult to travel because of the bad roads. When it is raining, it will flood the roads and our farms, and we have to wade through the flood by foot. But with the introduction of this program, we were able to work together and construct a culvert, which has made things a lot easier for our people.
The self-help program also helps to tackle the trauma of insurgency by building capacity through the training of women and youths in tailoring skills. Back in Michika, community representatives and dignitaries converged to recognize outstanding communities that excelled in their self-help projects, with Modadlaka community taking the first position.
I am proud to tell you that through this initiative, communities have been able to implement more than 100 projects, all drawn from their community development plan. Some of them were able to lobby for the construction of culverts. Some were able to lobby the construction of drainages. Some were able to even train community people, particularly those who are vulnerable, who were affected by this Boko Haram insurgency, to train them on skill acquisition.
Meanwhile, the state government believes the self-help projects will help the communities build up their confidence.
I'm happy today that the people at the grassroots have taken the bull by the horn by bringing development by themselves, not even waiting for the government to bring the development to them. This is an achievement, and I congratulate you all. On behalf of the Ministry for Local Government Affairs, we will look into various ways in which we will support these communities, so that we strengthen your zeal, we strengthen your commitment, we strengthen the way you feel governance should be.
Other projects executed through the Community Self-Help Initiative include renovation and equipping of schools, healthcare delivery, and empowerment of vulnerable groups.
The governor of Bauchi State, Mr. Bala Mohammed, has emphasized the crucial role of good governance in addressing the challenges of insecurity. He expresses concern over the influence of informants in exacerbating the issue and highlights the importance of socio-economic welfare and developmental progress in combating them. Governor Mohammed shares these insights during a courtesy visit by participants of Course 10 from the Nigeria Air Force War College. Our correspondent Hajira Aliyu reports.
Governor Bala Mohammed receives participants from the Nigerian Air Force War College, led by the Commandant, Air Vice Marshal Adebayo Kehinde. The Air Force team are currently conducting a study tour of the security situation in Bauchi State, with a focus on human security.
For the state tour, which is why we are here, we're interrogating the team, armed banditry, and human security. A topical issue in our country today and of particular interest to us is the issue of security. It has occupied the front burner nationally, and the serious consequence it has on the human security situation of the state.
During his address, Governor Mohammed speaks about the impact of insecurity on development, specifically emphasizing the perspective from Bauchi State. He highlights various initiatives implemented by his administration in critical sectors of the economy as he continues his advocacy for the utilization of modern policing techniques.
It is unacceptable in this age for us to have bandits running away from us without being caught. If there is technology, we are not serious. If I have $2, $3, $5 million, there is no way I will not be, even through remote sensing. You will be able to know everywhere. Those of you in the business, you know. But certainly we have to do it better. The Chinese told me, how can we say that people will just disappear in the thin air? In Kaduna, in some arid place, or in northern Bauchi? It's unacceptable. We are not serious. We have to liberate on security to help our security forces.
He reiterates that his vision for Bauchi State is encapsulated in community engagement and partnership with security agents, which has assisted greatly in addressing many security challenges facing the people. Hajara Ali, Channels Television News.
In Taraba State, the government says it will work towards implementing sustainable strategies that will ensure food security and tackle the high cost of living in the state. This, according to the government, will assist in reducing high unemployment rate and tackle the overdependence on the state government and federal government allocations. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Professor Nicholas Oliver, disclosed this while receiving tractors from Czech Republic on behalf of Governor Agbukefas in Jalingo, the state capital. The Taraba State government is taking proactive steps to address soaring prices of food in the state by setting up the Agriculture and Food Sustainability Committee to ensure food security, reduce high cost of living, as well as fight unemployment and achieve a drastic shift from the mono-economy dependence on crude oil. To ensure the effectiveness of his desire to maximize agricultural production and ensure that the committee serves as a frontier for enhancing this mandate, the state government has purchased 100 Cabrio compact tractors and 750 mini tractors with their accessories from the Czech Republic. The state government is confident that the tractors will be a game changer in agricultural activities of Taraba State.
Our farmers are to smile because we have the needed support that they have all along been praying for. It has come. So all we need is to come together, and then support the government to do more, because this is just the first batch. The second batch is on its way. Very soon it will touch down Lagos and we'll be there to bring them again. This is the very first time in this country that the state government is doing such an engagement to help support the farmers.
Gerald Leslie is a Ghanaian engaged by the state government to train those that will manage the facilities, but insists that the tractors are bound to be damaged without absolute maintenance. According to him, the utilization of the machines cannot be based on past experience, but dependent on the principles which require cascading.
So far, I can say that their comprehension to what we are teaching them is very good. We have done some aspects. We are doing 4 aspects. The first one is the theoretical aspect. We are doing the offloading aspect because you have to bring the machines out of the container. Then we do assembling. Then we do the practical operations of how to use them, because they are going to be trainers of trainees. They are going to train people how to use them.
60 engineering graduates across the country who are indigents of Taraba State are trained by Ghanaian experts to ensure that the facilities serve their purpose.
The actual problem we have, we as a Nigerian, we don't have the maintenance culture.
And that was what we were so happy with this training that was done to us in Taraba State. And the first what we're supposed to know, that was every daily maintenance, we're supposed to know that you have to check if it is a carburetor structure, you have to check the water level, check your engine oil. Whenever you are parking, you make sure that the oil is locked, your air filter is always being cleaned after every walk because of the dust particles that will not even cause it to stop having problem in the engine. But we don't do that here. Because previous tractor that were brought, we just do what we feel like, go and do the plowing, bring money, and that is all.
With the ongoing registration of genuine farmers, the state government is optimistic about a credible and reliable database that will assist in the disbursement of farm inputs to ensure adequate food security this year and beyond. And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again, same time next week. We'll bring you another round of editions. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.